Build a solid financial future. We are BNN, Business News Network. Your business, your future.
Okay, yesterday it was Sobeys. Today, Loblaw, Canada's top grocery chains, bringing some gloomy news to aisle 2, reporting some nasty profit losses. Is this simply the Walmart effect? Or do Canada's grocers just not have what it takes to survive? We're going to put these questions out to Rick Pennycooke. He's the president of the Lakeshore Group. Thank you for joining us.
It's good to be here, Mike.
I want to talk about Loblaw, essentially, first of all, confirming what they had previously told us to expect, but this is their first annual loss in 19 years.
Yeah.
I'm a member of the media, so it's my job to find blame. Who's to blame?
They are, actually.
Management?
Yep, management is. I was always of the opinion that to fend off Walmart, they should have stuck with what they knew best, which was selling groceries.
The strategy was the big shift. It was,
That's right.
we got that high-end President's Choice stuff. We're the place to go if you got a couple of extra bucks in your pocket, and then that whole Walmart threat came along, and it's like they abandoned that.
Well, they have different banners. They've got the No Frills, which was doing well, but I think that their overall strategy of moving into non-food goods really created a problem. They wanted to go head-to-head with Walmart and get into these, what they call DSTM goods, and they weren't able to handle it through their distribution chain, and that spun over to a lot of other problems, and we're here today with this news.
I thought the problem wasn't the $50 DVD player you could pick up as you're around the corner for your yogurt. I thought it was the execution of the realignment of all of their operations.
Well, that was part of it, but you've added in, they added in all of these other goods into their supply chain, and it really didn't work at all.
They've had plenty of time to fix this, though, haven't they?
They have. So what it says to me is the problems are very, very serious.
They had told us in a recent quarterly report that it may be another 2 years or so before they really put these problems behind them. Does that mean we have 2 more years of annual losses?
Well, I'm not a financial person,
sure,
but I mean the marketplace for supermarket goods is fierce, and so it's going to be tough for everyone. But if you don't have your supply chain working, and if you don't have your marketing working, it's going to continue to be tough.
Okay, so that's the 1-2 punch for Loblaw, the supply chain problems, which they say they're working on. Are you confident they will be able to turn this problem around anytime soon?
I'm confident they'll be able to turn it around. They have to. They have to.
You can't just close up shop.
They can't. They have to. Is it going to be soon? I don't know. If I had to give you a date, I'd say, certainly not 4 or 12 months from now.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it's already been, what, 2-3 years? Yeah. Okay, so then let's look at the other punch of that 1-2 punch, which is the product itself. The discounting doesn't seem to work. Like you say, it's a fiercely competitive environment.
It is. The cost of groceries really can't go much lower in this country. So you've got to look at doing other things to bring consumers into your store.
I thought that was the DVD player for $50.
Well, that's right, but they had problems. They had problems even keeping those things on the shelves, but they also had problems with people just saying, you know what, I'm actually here for bananas.
Not lawn furniture.
Not lawn furniture, yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about Sobeys. It's been feeling the pinch as well. We got that quarterly loss out of the company.
Right.
Sell recommendations coming out of people's ears on Bay and Wall Streets right now. What's your impression of Sobeys' strategy?
Well, I think Sobeys did the right thing. They retrenched. They stayed with what they knew best, which was selling groceries. Went with smaller stores. Looked at some interesting places to be in downtown Toronto, in some dense markets where you typically wouldn't find a bigger grocery store. Those are risky things to do, but those are the things that they had to do.
How risky was that smaller store strategy? Everybody, I can imagine, would assume bigger is better. You can go to a Great Canadian Superstore, and on one aisle you've got clothing, on the other aisle, on the other side of the same aisle, you've got motor oil almost.
Well, that's right. But I remember the last time I was here when we were seeing that, I was saying, is the consumer really wanting to pick up bananas and try on slacks at the same time? And I think that was Loblaw's mistake there. Sobeys has stayed really on the food side. And tried to go with improving their freshness of their goods and the range of their food, but stay with food and stay in a smaller box.
So what have they done wrong then?
Well, it goes back to the fierce competitive marketplace in the country, and I think that's probably why the financial analysts are recommending sell on a lot of these things, because they're not going to see a lot of growth.
This all seems very strange to me. I've been doing my own grocery shopping for a year or two now. I don't want to shop at Walmart for my groceries. Am I an anomaly?
You are. You are. I mean, there are a lot of people out there that the Walmart message has gotten through to, and they're shopping there. And it's not just, people of a lower income status. People want a bargain, and they feel that they can get everything that they need at Walmart, and they're willing to go.
Okay, so then, but that is the same strategy as Loblaw, except I suppose on the execution with the supply chain.
The execution was bad. The execution was bad.
What's the lesson here?
Stick with what you know in the food game. But I think what we're going to see now is the retailers have looked at in curbing their excessive losses in making efficient business decisions. But I think the play now will go to real estate, going into markets and trying to own the marketplace before the other player can come in. That's, I think, what you're going to see now. You're going to see a bloodbath in real estate for supermarkets. I
can imagine that would work so long as every time the consumer goes into that grocery store, they can actually find what they went in to look for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Goods have to be on the shelves.
Back on the Loblaw front, their heyday was the Dave Nichols President's Choice, bring in the dog, tell me about your trip to Shanghai kind of thing. Is that what they need to bring the consumer back in?
I think so.
Is Dave coming back?
I don't think so. But they absolutely need that. I'm completely at a loss why they left that strategy. I mean, people just spoke about the President's Choice goods and the memories of this sauce and the memories of that sauce. They really created an environment and an experience of going there, and that has been lost. And for the life of me, I can't figure out, why they departed from that.
So it seems like Walmart's won by default.
In a sense, and by efficiencies.
Rick, we appreciate your insight. Thank you.
Great to be here, Michael.
Rick Pennycooke, president of the Lakeshore Group. When we come back on the other side of the break, we'll bring you up to speed on more of the day's top stories, of course, with Squeeze Play. I'm Michael Hainsworth. Let's look at some of the after-hours newsmakers.